Okay, so right now we have 3 groups working, and the first group here is working on the leaning children. They were both children. One was 6 years old and one was even younger than that. Being thin tablets, thin markers, anytime that you have a lean, they're going to be more susceptible to cracking or breakage, or actually they'll lean into a space where mowers go by, and the mowers might think they have it covered, but a stone is leaning forward. So we wanted to get those back in line to save that. The group right next to it, they're working on a stone that's in danger of being swallowed up by a tree. And it's not too late to save this one. Often we walk by them and we think, well, someday we'll get to it. Well, that someday ends up being too late and we lose the stone. So we're saving that stone. And then we have another group further down that are working on basically surface laid granite markers, more of a modern marker, that have become very displaced and unsightly and swallowed up by erosion. So they're going to clean up that area and get those laid back out.
Is there anything else down there? It looks like they laid rocks and they put over. Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
The first thing we discovered was there's a lot more stone. That particular little row of stones, they were 4 granite stones that were the kind of markers that are lower to the ground. And the first thing we had to do was excavate them, because what had happened was that the soil around them had built up over time and they were buried. So as we dug, the surprise was finding how much there was underground, and then we also had to dig the bases out. They had been set in wet concrete, and it was actually a real challenge to pull those out, to deal with the tree roots that had grown around them, and then to figure out how to line them back up, because they were all slightly different kinds of stones.
The sliding markers, this whole hillside that we're on here is slowly sliding down toward the roadway, and with it go the markers. Any markers that are placed high to the surface are going to go with that upper level of topsoil as it moves. We're taking all of our measurements down into the excavated area from the underside. What we've uncovered, this base, the very first base, was completely buried. It was completely underground. We had no idea what was under there, if there was a concrete base that this was puddled into, or if there was no base, it was just dirt. And what they've uncovered is that they're actually the original bases. They're limestone bases. This is what they call a die and socket type construction. The base is considered a socket, so it actually has like a pocket dug out of the middle, or cut out of the middle, for the die, which is the top stone, to fit down into. It was a very good way of securing headstones, and they last a long, long time. And they appear to be in good condition. We're going to use this base, but we're going to keep about this much of it above ground. We're only going to put half of it underground, so we'll be able to hide this section here. If we can keep the rest of that above ground, it will actually probably last a little longer, versus being underground against the tree.
Don't anybody get hurt.
Yeah. You can get it up.
That one actually looks
Good. Yeah, so when you see where that was, it didn't sink. Look at the hump that we're standing on here.
all the hill eroded.
This is what was up there. Right. What would you estimate? How deep was that? Was it a foot underground, the top of this? Yeah, close to it. Yeah, let's leave it alone for now.
We take this one, just leave it there.
Let's clean that one. Let's clean that one.